Hello, this is Trixie and I'm Sarah, and this is our Yarn World. This is a place that we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 168 today, and so today's episode is going to be a little bit different than our normal episodes. Yes, we are going to still talk about what we're working on. We're going to be encouraging you to continue with your crafts, or just maybe this is your time to spend time working on your crafts with people like yourself, and just feeling like you have company. I welcome you. Yes, we turn our not maybe ourselves, but we turn YouTube videos on as well.
Yeah.
To pass the time,
Yeah.
feeling like we're not alone as well. So welcome. We see you. We love you. Get that craft done. But we're also going to be talking about something that kind of really impacted us in this last week.
And it's probably impacting you too.
As a lot of people know, JoAnn's, the crafting company, is now going under. We originally thought and had originally been told that it was just a select few business locations that were going to be taken out to allow for space to get the financial aspect of the company sorted out. They were going to lose some of the locations that were not making as much of a profit so that they could pull back, figure out their finances, and kind of pour into the other locations that were doing well. Well, today is February 26th, and yesterday the 25th, we were told across the nation that all the stores are going under, and you would think, okay, well, there's other stores. Not everywhere. We live in the Midwest, and
In the Mid-East.
No, Michigan's considered Midwest.
Oh.
I saw it on a map the other day.
Okay.
We're considered Midwest.
All right.
We're about as far to the east as the Midwest can go, but we
Okay.
are considered Midwest.
All right.
So we're in that part that's a bit rural for the states. If you know the states, you know that there are very specific states that are considered rural, such as like Utah, Ohio, just a lot of farmland, a lot of crops and orchards, and just it's meant for farming. It's good soil, and Michigan is a part of that. We do have a lot of cities in our state, and because of all the Great Lakes, we do have a lot of touristy parts of our state that are more bordering the sides of the state that have the water, but a lot of it is also farmland. And we're called the state of the trees for a reason. We have a lot of national forests and woods and trails, which means that a lot of the times, unless you live in a city, where your house is located, it's a drive to get to a gas station. It's a drive to get to a grocery store. Errands are built on a day that you're getting everything done all at once.
You're going out to do those things, and you line them all up to get where you're going, all the way back home.
And losing JoAnn's means that we're, you could say that you have Hobby Lobby, you could say you have Michael's, but especially in our neck of the woods, Michael's is about 35 to 45 minutes one way, depending on traffic, and 35 minutes is on a good day. Mostly is 45 to 50 minutes one way, and it's an hour the other way. So that's out of the way. And you could say Hobby Lobby, but if anyone knows, Hobby Lobby's yarn section is not that big.
Yeah.
It's more of I feel like it's become more of a home department store. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have crafts, but it kind of feels more like, hey, like a country barn where it's like, come in, get that wall, get the wall decorations, get the furniture, get the lighting, get the this, get the that. It's more fill your house to make it look nice store than just a craft built store.
Yeah.
It's more built to make your home look like a home than it is dedicated to crafts 100%.
Yeah.
Like how JoAnn's was. In the name, JoAnn's crafting store.
Yeah.
The only other store that probably is like that is Michael's, and like I said, they are practically an hour
They're
one
too
way.
far away.
So, and yeah, there's other yarn locations inside Walmarts and Meijer's in our area, but they're
very short, very little.
And it's limited.
Yes.
It's limited in materials. It's limited in color, and as people that have taken our craft seriously, we have been very adamant about feel, about texture, about knowing what we're getting, and feeling good about seeing and being able to go and be a part of something that felt bigger than just us, being around other crafters, being able to get inspired by other people, because always when you're there, you always, especially with JoAnn's, you always felt like you're around people just like you.
Yeah.
And I am sad. I am really sad because we thought that it was just our location. We were just on the list that was going to get cut. That if we wanted to make a trip out to one of the cities, we'd still find a JoAnn's. We could make it a monthly trip. That was something me and Mom were actually talking about. We'd make a monthly trip out to the next JoAnn's. Just to find out from the cashier yesterday that she got notified on Good Morning America that it was all the locations.
And that's how she found out.
That's how they all found out.
Yep.
The corporate didn't tell them. It was something that they had to learn the same way that we would have. These are jobs.
It's people's families.
You know, I'm so frustrated that commercialism got in the way of a really good thing.
Yeah.
And it really stinks. I am saddened by the fact that I am now seeing a lot of, I at least seen one other crafter that made a video that was talking about the aspect of going through the store one last time. I remember coming out of the store yesterday almost in tears, realizing that my kids are not going to actually have hardcore memories of this place that I've taken them to almost every single month of their life.
Yeah.
It sucks. And yeah, is it the end of the world? No. Are there other ways for us to get what we're gonna get? Yes, because crafters are gonna get what they need. They're gonna find a way. It just feels like a bit of a betrayal when we were going out of our way to not buy online, to not buy in other locations. We were very loyal to have this cut out from underneath us. It's not meaning that we're going to stop what we're doing. Amazon's still a great resource. I'm not going to act like I'm above it, but you can still buy yarn off of Red Heart. You can still buy yarn off of actual yarn companies.
Yeah, the Lion brand.
It's going to take a while, and that's why people are going to end up going to Amazon, which is what's causing places. It's not just that. There's other reasons. We have a friend that was the manager of our JoAnn's location that mentioned that the higher-ups were not making the appropriate financial decisions, and that it was a very systematic issue, and it went all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
All these poor financial decisions made for less people to be able to work at JoAnn's meant that the quality of the stores was going down, meaning that people weren't going. It was doomed to fail because it was a systematic failure, and it bled downhill.
Yeah.
And it's sad and it's hard, and I feel like a lot of us know this feeling. If anyone is 90s babies, I know that we all felt it when Blockbuster and home videos went out. Yeah, it's great that we have streaming services, but there was something nice about the feeling of getting that ability to go get that physical movie and be able to bring it home and be able to experience it like it was this big event.
It was a big event.
It became something to do instead of just something where you sat down and were just instantly had it at your fingertips.
Right.
And there's something special about going to a store or going somewhere to achieve what you wanted by going to the craft store and picking up the yarn, going to the movie store, getting the movie, having it physically there, making it an event, making it special, hyping yourself up about what you want to do instead of just, oh, I'll get it tomorrow, or oh, I guess I can order it for $3 on. It doesn't make it as special. I know this is a random other fact, but I also saw that there's actually a color theory going on that talks about how diluted color has gotten in our society based off of the fact that companies are going to a much grayer scale when it comes to how they're presenting their companies since like the 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah.
How McDonald's used to be really colorful. Block stores used to be very colorful. That going down the street, they would make it a colorful event, such as like the colors of Christmas. Like it's now it's now nostalgic to put colorful lights on Christmas trees instead of solid whites, or just doing a solid color for a Christmas tree where it's like all blue, all red, all something, because the idea of having extra color is so taboo nowadays that when you actually look at the color scale going through all these recent decades, it's diluted. The only color that has not left is blue, and that's because of the sky.
Oh, wow.
And if you actually look at like social color theories, you can see how color has been lost through the age of how companies are now viewing colors as being juvenile to what is considered adult. And it's very interesting that if we go to a place that's colorful, it almost makes us feel childish instead of it sparking creativity and sparking joy that colors were meant to do. It's why when you go see natural wildflower fields, it feels so intense to the eyes. When you see people that plant color in their house and they're not afraid of color, it feels so insane because over time society has gone to a much more grayer scale palette. And I'm not saying, I don't know why. I don't know if it's about money. I don't know if there's science behind it. But I thought it was very interesting that over these decades there has been even color to changes to the way that companies have been viewing color. That those sort of things are now a diluted aspect of our actual landscape that causes a different response to how we view things, and how where we view color most is now on our devices, and it causes a bit of we gravitate towards how the flash of the light or our screens turning on, or I don't know. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory. It's an actual color theory thing that's actually been getting studied recently as a social social study. But it's just, I think that's why color is so important in our crafts, and why we get so excited about bringing color into our home, and why crafters have been still such a main thing. And no matter how much people will say it's old-fashioned or traditional, it brings life into, I guess, a very grayscale world now, and I don't know why. Right. It just feels sad. It just feels like an era has, again, getting changed. It's so weird. I don't know. So,
with that, I'm going to show you my...
Depressing. I don't know. I'm going to get my coffee.
Very scrappy blanket, which is very colorful. And I don't care. And... yeah, I'm just going to show you my blanket, and then I've got a story too. But, so this is what I started showing you a couple of weeks ago. We weren't able to film last week, so I was able to finish it and start another one. So I've got the reds and the mandala, and I think that's where I left off. Yeah. I was showing you the black light, and everything's paired with white. So then it goes into the blues, that the blues have the ombre effect. And then at the bottom, it's reds and pinks. And I just figured, you know what? This is full of color. And that makes me very happy. And it makes whoever gets it very happy. they all know that I like to do these scrappy blankets. I mean, here's one right behind us too. Now this is more of a gray and black.
It was my husband's blanket. It was his choice.
Yeah, that was his, and I loved making that one. It reminds me.
Denim.
It's a denim. It's a denim yarn.
Yeah.
So that was very fun working with that. But do you want to show your project real quick, and then I can go into the story?
However you want. If you want to do you want to do it that way, or do you want to do the story now? It really is fine either way.
Here.
Maybe let's do mine first. That way we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I talked for a while, so it kind of set us off. But yeah, I find it very interesting just having that perspective that the fact that color has been bleeding out of how we view being an adult, especially in my generation, is such an interesting thing. And the reason why I see people who become obsessed with color in a world that when you really look at the lack of color,
right,
it's just insane to me, especially in our personal society. It's very interesting when you go to a city and you realize how little color there is.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. They have something there. Whoever's doing that study is really figuring something out. But there's a couple of things. I mentioned beginning of the year, or in January, that I was going to be doing blocks for a blanket that I'm planning to do. The blanket has about 12 to 16 blocks, so I have to try to get a couple done every single month. This is not going to be something that I force myself through as one solid project, because we know me, I'm a mood crafter, but the idea of doing something where I'm feeding into something every single month might be a little bit more doable for me, and with something like a big blanket, that's probably going to be more realistic for me.
Right.
It just is. So I need something that's a little bit more than just the same thing over and over again, so I did a very fancy, it's kind of like a stained glass looking, or kaleidoscope looking design.
Yeah.
It goes in the round, but it kind of looks like a granny. Each row is different. It's not the same thing, and it kind of builds off of itself. And there are color changes. There's up to 4 color changes per block. And depending on what block you're doing, it wants you to start with a different color. It's very pretty. I'm going to pull up the design. And I picked colors. Now, here's the thing. My house, I live in a trailer, and we know this isn't our forever home. This is just a step towards that location. And so I haven't really, and it doesn't mean I don't care about this place, but I haven't really given it love. Meaning, I have not just painted walls or made it really mine in that way, in a personal way, because it felt like that's something I'm going to do with a forever home. But everyone that I've been talking to keeps telling me this is still a step towards that direction. You're still allowed to love it, and it gives it character in a way that will still allow people to want to buy it for possibly their forever location. And it gives some pride to your spot. It makes you want to be happy about it. It makes you want to give it life. And if you stay in a location long enough, give it that purpose, give it that life. Let people see that you were there. Yeah. I had this epiphany the other day that when you go to a hospital, you're going there for health. If you're going to a restaurant, you're going there to eat. If you're going to a grocery store, you're going to get supplies. If you're going somewhere, it has a purpose. Why not home? Home, some people don't like to go home because there's chaos there. Some people think that home is boring because there's not enough life there. For me, I want home to be a place that recharges. My daughter recently said that she went to her room because she felt overwhelmed, and that's her safe place. And I thought that was, that gives me a lot of peace to know that she feels safe in her room, and that she feels comfortable to have a place that she knows to go when she gets overwhelmed. But I kept thinking, I have the power of the definition of how my home makes not only me feel, but others. That's
Right.
something that we are able to do. So I plan to color this wall behind me. And because of that, I am making this blanket in the colors scale that I would like to produce and inspire in my home. And I might need your guys' help because my children said something to me and I think my mom thinks it's very funny. But I have to pull the pattern up so you guys can see. So give me a second. So these are not the colors that I'm doing, granted, but this is how
The design.
this is the design. She did it in a muted kind of pastel Easter colors, kind of. Very beautiful. This is the designer's, sorry. This is the designer's name. This is the name of the project, I do believe. It is very, very talented. This is amazing. I am down to the last couple of rows before this block is done, but I want to do a deep forest green with copper bronze accents. So frames and stuff would be like that. Different wall decor that I have. I have a very special gold yarn that I got from that lady in Giara that I would like to do as decor on there. So maybe mandalas I might make for this wall. Things like that. But I want to do like a really deep forest green. And that way things that I do like plum purples and stuff like that that I can add would pop. And that way those accents can work. And that way if I do blankets or if I do a different couch or whatever, I have a space to go with. I'm only doing one accent wall, which means that other things can be incorporated. I can make it work. My family likes this idea, so we're working with that. And I decided to do, so far, this block.
Isn't that pretty?
Now we did a bit of an off-white, more muted white, not a very bright white.
No.
This is like a copper, would you say copper?
Yeah.
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 Copper
Color.
There's a plum purple right here. It's kind of hard to see in this light. And then this is a dark forest green. There's repeats I still have to do. Oh gosh, the next color is likely going to be this purple. And then maybe the white again, I think. I don't know. I can't remember how these repeats go. Again, these blocks, they start with a different color and do a different color scheme of the same colors and different repeats in different ways per block so that they're a bit off, just so that they kind of create their own standing. This artist has already figured out how to place the blocks appropriately so none of the same style blocks touch each other.
Wow.
It's properly already demonstrated in the pattern. You already have it all listed for you. You just have to do them. And yes, because these are going to be in a hexagon shape, they do have these connecting actual squares that you have to do, and those have to be different each. And then there's like these shell shapes that you have to do for the border that are added at the end to kind of build off and kind of block off the ends when you get that border done. It's very well done. This lady is amazing, whoever did this design. Very talented. But here's the thing. Yes, I don't think that this block is bad. These colors obviously go together. I thought about doing black instead of the plum purple. I do have that still. Here's the thing. I showed my children this. And you want to know what they have the nerve to say? Children are very, very honest. They asked me if this was a turkey. I can't not see that now. I'm having issues. My husband's like, I really like that you chose that purple. I really want to keep the purple. And I'm like, they think it's a turkey. I don't want to make a turkey blanket. I don't know what to do. I like these colors, but I don't know what to do.
I think if you keep making it, it's not going to look like a turkey.
Maybe. And maybe that's it. There's also the fact that because I think there's 16 of these, that I can switch out this plum purple with black for half of them so that there's a sense of disruption. Yeah. And it gives more space to breathe. I'm not mad at my children. I'm having a hard time not seeing the wingspan, the back tail feathers of a turkey now every single time I see it. Makes me want to just make a little turkey head right there and just put it in there and make this a placemat. I'm serious. I'm struggling.
I wouldn't. I would just keep going.
And I know. it's just one of those things where you have to trust the process. But it's one of those things that when you see it now, it's hard to unsee. It's one of those. My husband says, finish the block, we'll make decisions from there. He also said to make a couple of the squares too, so that we can see how that looks before going on to the next block, next big block, so that we can see that too. Because he's like, that way we're still in the beginning stages, that if we're going to change a color or two, we're okay. Yeah. By the way, I did pick these colors at JoAnn's, but I picked... Oh no, I did pick some Big Twists, I think. Big Twist is JoAnn's
brand.
I might have to stop this anyway and choose a different brand, just because I won't be able to refresh that. Well, anywho, there is another project that I did pick up. My friend is getting her own place.
Hallelujah.
It's been 3 years. She's been working through a lot of life trials, things that not a lot of people would be able to make it through. She has a lot of strength and a lot of patience. She's near that threshold of finally getting her place. But one of she has double doors that lead to a covered porch that does have a draft. So she asked me to make this big long dragon that could do the width of the bottom of those doors, that can sit there as like that draft.
Yeah, to protect it.
To protect it. Stop it, baby. Sorry, my dog is whining. He doesn't want to be in the cage. You're chill. Still. Be easy. You're good. Anyway, to cover that draft. 70 inches long. She wants a dragon. We have decided the design. I'm not going to go too much into detail with that right now because I don't want to make this video extremely long. But I'll just show you what I've gotten done. I don't think my mom has even seen this yet.
I haven't.
So I'm starting the tail up because we're still working on colors. So this is the tail. I'm going to still gradually build the tail, and I'm building these back spines up. Excuse me. Once we get to the body, there's going to be a different pattern for the spines. There's going to be 3 rows of them going down the spine, but the tail themselves only is going to have 1. So, but I kind of made it look my son thought it was going to be a rocket, but these bottom ones are smaller than the big purple one to make it lay flat.
Oh.
This is bigger than the 2.
Okay.
So that and then these purple spines are going to keep going down. I am making this design up as I go, but I already have it listed out. Me and her drew it out the other day. We have an idea. I am doing a lot. It seems ridiculous, but the reason why is because I'm doing this is because she wanted the body in black. Black is very hard to work at night, so I needed to do a different pattern to fill up that time. I needed to get these done because I plan to make that commitment to do a couple of installments of these to break up the monotony of big projects throughout the year. I think that's not an unreasonable thing. But another thing I have after I get that done, Easter's coming. Gotta get those peeps. Gotta get those Easter eggs made. I also saw something to be able to make a chocolate bunny. I also saw Easter gnomes. Might make one for you and Arlene. There's things to get done, man. Easter's coming. I have like a month, and I said, because last Easter I couldn't go. My family got sick and we couldn't go to Easter.
Yeah.
So I made a whole bunch of stuff. Didn't end up getting to do it, and I promised. I was like, oh, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm going to be bringing a basket of peeps that no one can eat. But everyone gets to choose what they want out of the basket. I'm going to be making a whole bunch of stuff, so you'll be seeing those ideas. So yeah, kind of chaotic, but you know, crafting never stops being lively and chaotic. So go to your story.
So yesterday we did go to JoAnn's, and we did this after one of my doctor's appointments. I just brought Sarah with me because like we said at the beginning, when you go somewhere from where we live, you make it a day of getting all your errands done, and you're going location to location to location, and because my doctor's office was right down the street from JoAnn's, we figured we might as well go there while we were there.
Yeah.
And so, because they're going out of business, and because
it's such a big deal.
They're not getting any more stock in. We decided to go in there and get what we could, and so, and I didn't even bother to get a cart when I first walked in. I thought I'm just gonna get a couple yarns. Well,
she
let
filled
me
the
tell
whole
you,
cart.
I told Sarah, I said, please go get me a cart, because I found this big twist, and it's called Rainbow Bright, and I bought the rest of the bin.
I think it was like 7 of them.
8.
Oh.
There was 8 of them. I counted. I threw them in the cart, and then I decided to get the colors that were in this.
All in solid. So
yes.
One whole thing of blue, of this blue color, one whole thing of this purple color, one whole thing of this yellow, this pink, this orange, this black, everything.
We even found a rust.
And this is big twist, so they're going out, so you
Yeah.
gotta get them while you can.
Yeah. And so what I did was I filled up that cart.
And you're gonna make a blanket to remember JoAnn's by.
Mm-hmm. And after I figured out that Big Twist was JoAnn's brand, I didn't even look at any of the other yarns to get any more, because I know I can get Red Heart, and I know I can get Lion Brand, and I can get Karen at other places, but I'm not going to be able to get this. Okay. So all of them were Big Twist. Now,
there was the deal that was going on.
Yes. So they started out at $4.49, and they were 25% off every skein. So I ended up getting each skein for $3.37. I got $1.12 off every skein, and I got 26 skeins. Now this is smaller than the other ones that I was getting.
Oh, I got the size right here. The skein sizes is this is Big Twist. So they were about this actual size.
Yeah.
They're much thicker.
Yeah. So I got 26, and so it came up to $92.82 when I was done, and that's with the 25% off. So and then Sarah and I, when we were in line, she had talked to the lady that was in front of us. Well, the lady in front of us had talked to Sarah, because Sarah.
Oh, I can grab them.
Sarah was going to get some bags.
At the end, at the checkout,
yeah,
you can get reusable bags like these, like reusable bags. And I've been a fan of these, so I like to pick them up. They're like $2, and so with them being on sale, they're only like $1 something, like really cheap. But I know we don't normally do any sort of cussing, but we don't. But it on this channel, but this was in that, and I just started laughing, and I just picked it up.
And the lady in front of us said, well, that's kind of risky. And then when Sarah picked it up and said, well, I think I'm going to buy that, and the lady says, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, I was just like, I don't care. It's all good. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but if this business is going down the drain anyway, I'm going to take everything I can get with it. Yeah. And she just started laughing.
Yep. So then she gets up there, and then Sarah goes and does her thing with her cashier. Yep. And I get up there, and I have my whole cart full. Uh-huh. Now, the lady that had been
in front of us,
she turned around and she said, this is such a sad day. And she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, could you use the rest of my gift card? And I'm just like, oh. And I said, yes, I could. And so she handed it to me and she walked away. And
she looked like she was about to cry.
We were all ready to cry, including the cashiers. And so she gets it done, and I put the gift card in.
We're thinking $5 maybe left on there.
Yeah. She gave me $22.41 on her gift card. And I had already saved, let me see what it said.
It was like $29 or
Yeah.
something.
I can't even find it.
Oh, wait, let me.
It was another $29 and something cents.
It was like 50-something dollars.
With the 25% off. So I ended up saving $51 and some change because
Of the deal.
Because of this random stranger who was in the camaraderie of the store going out, and and that's when the cashier tells Sarah and I, all of the stores are going out, and we were just like, oh my gosh. And she says, yeah, and I found out on Good Morning America this morning. And I said, I am so sorry. And she's like, I said, do you know when the store's going to close? She says, nope, they don't tell us anything. She says, I found out that the stores were closing, or our store was closing on Facebook, and then I find out all the stores are closing on Good Morning America. She says, if it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't even know. She said, they're not telling us anything. And I'm like, I am so sorry. I said, but people are so nice. You know?
And then she was like, I was going through all my old JoAnn's gift cards, and I was going to start handing them out to all the customers.
Yeah.
Because I normally have like $5 here, $2 here, $10 here on my gift cards, and I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just too much. It's the mental load of not wanting to waste that money that will never be able to be used ever again.
Yeah.
When JoAnn's goes, those gift cards are dead. That money on there is still there, but it has nowhere to go, and you can't put it anywhere else.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where it's like everyone's trying to give everyone their gift cards, and it's like that stranger did that not only because of the camaraderie, but because I don't think she wanted to go back in there.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying too. That was
so
her last time. And then when we walked out, we thought the same thing. We're going to take this cart back in. We're just going to grab the bags, and this is the last time we're going to be here. And that's when Sarah said, and my kids won't be able to come back. And we were just like ready to cry in the car because it was just like, it's an institution for us. And I told the cashier, I said, you know, we're YouTubers, and we come here all the time to get our products, you know, to tell people about. And what are we going to do now? You know? So we're just like, we're going to find a place, but right now we're just very, very hurt and very, very sorry that this is happening. And
you're not alone.
You're not alone. We're right there with you. We're very, very sad about this. And so I just wanted to share my nice, colorful, big twist, beautiful yarn, and I have
JoAnn's.
all these colors to go with it. You're going to be getting a beautiful blanket to see whenever I get this done, because oh my gosh, the colors and see, that's what I love about going to feel the yarn, is because
I feel like you are holding on to something tangible.
Well, and if it doesn't feel right, you don't want to buy it.
Yep.
And because earlier was it last year or later in the year last year, we figured out that different yarns have, like, 4-plies are not all the same.
Yep.
So if you're not buying all the same kind of yarn or anything, you have to test to see if it's going to be a match to the yarn that you're already using.
So it's a gamble to go online. It's and again, we probably have other places we can go. We'll be smart. We'll share them with you guys. It's not like we're not gonna. It's just one of those. This is just very heartbreaking. It's very sad.
Yes.
So
we do have a quote for you to end.
That feels like it fits this.
Yes, and it you might want to bring that thing up again. So we don't know how to say the last name or the name.
This man was. Lived a couple centuries ago. He was a French-American Quaker missionary. And so, go ahead.
The quote says, I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good thing, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness that I can show to any fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again.
And his name is
DeGrellet, or in English, Etienne DeGrellet.
Etienne DeGrellet.
yes. So he was a, it feels like it really captures the idea of recognizing that moments that we sometimes take for granted, the mundane things that we do and the motions of our life of just, oh, this is going to be there, so you just go and you get it and you come back, and then when they leave, it's that grieving, just as the same as when we grieve a loved one that's passed, when we stop and we forget that those moments that we had with them were not going to be something that we could do over, have always, have at our disposal 100% of the time, that those moments are very in the present. They're very much something that we can appreciate now, because we might not have them forever, and we might not know when that is going to be over. So every moment is precious.
And like the last line says, for I shall not pass this way again.
And so we gotta make every single moment count.
Yes, and for that lady that gave me the gift card, if you ever see this, I want to thank you so much. Yep. It meant the world to me.
So, to all those that feel the loss of JoAnn's, just as we do, we we love you guys. We're all in this together. We will share our journey as we find other locations, hopefully maybe to inspire you guys as to how we're going to navigate this. Share with us maybe your favorite JoAnn's memories, if you had similar experiences us going into it for the final times. Maybe some of your best memories, what you are going to do, where you're going to go.
Let us know.
We're more than... we want to be a part of it. So we thank you for joining us today. We know that this was a bit longer, but obviously we were discussing something quite sad. But life goes on, and we will continue to be there for you guys. As of right now, we have no plan to stop making these videos.
Right.
And so, as always, we love you guys, and we hope that you... that your projects go well, that you're able to get that yarn while you still have the chance to get it for your projects, and that you stitch your way to mental health.
Yes.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.